Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. Men must meet the challenges of life. Now this is very important. This is very important, and this is a masculine thing. Because you have too many men not facing the challenges, or if the challenges come, allowing the challenges to defeat them. Now understand what this challenge is. It ain't necessarily fighting. I mean, that's one of them. But just every day, just everyday life, they can be microaggressions, they can be, and it's like, isn't that necessarily you need to swing or anything? I mean, yeah, that is a challenge. Sometimes somebody might get in your face. You might have to go to their jaw, and it's not like you being aggressive, but you might have to physically defend yourself. But that's just one of many. And, it's even deeper than like someone insulting you or anything like that. It's deeper, even deeper than that. It might be a challenge just to get up some mornings. That's a challenge. Y'all ever have any men listening? You ever have that day, you tired. You tired, you worn out. You did a lot the day before. Or it could be whatever. You just don't want to get up. That alarm has already rang twice. You had it snooze several times. That's a challenge sometimes. That's a challenge you got to face just to get up and still go to work. Be on time. Sometimes it's a challenge to do something that you don't want to do. Unfortunately, only a tiny percentage of men actually live in the life that they want to live. Sometimes it's a challenge to go to their job. Now, I've had that. I'm gonna speak from a personal thing. There were times when I've worked in government offices. I've worked in courthouses. I've worked retail. I've done, the vending wasn't a challenge. But even then, there was some challenges. I'll tell y'all. I'll give y'all a story in a bit. But, so there's times, especially when it's like so, you're like, damn, I don't feel like going to work today. It's a minor, you might think it's a minor challenge, but you still get up. And then depending on the job, you might have to deal with something, right? Like, you have to, I'll give you an example. This is when I was working in the government. And I can share this particular location. I worked with the Department of Justice, the Civil Rights Division, the Disability Rights section, right? And I, just working in that section, that was a challenge because sometimes I would get phone calls and complaints from somebody who felt like that their civil rights were violated because of their disability. And sometimes it'll be cool, but sometimes you get somebody and you just like, are you kidding me? Like, I can't. Well, one case, this guy was complaining about something that I was able to investigate, and I was like, dude, that's really not an issue here. He became a challenge. That's a challenge, And then when I was been working retail, anybody work retail at all, you gonna get something. Or even when I'm vending for myself, you always get that one customer who's gonna be a problem. That can be a challenge. I remember I was at the Harlem Book Fair selling my books. And there was a gentleman. He was right in my face. He wasn't like some people hiding behind like some avatar on social media. This dude was right in my face, physically about the same size. And we were talking about my book. And he was like, well, I'm not in your book. And I said, what I said to him was like, you're not, physically, like you personally, I don't know you personally, you're not in there, but, you haven't read it, don't know what it really covers. And he would say, I ain't in your book, and I ain't. I was like, and me and him almost came to blows. And actually, he was kind of a troll, because then when he saw it, he actually backed down. He saw I was hot. Yeah, he was like, yeah, you won't be able to sell any more books. Now, that was a challenge. And I ain't going to lie, I was hot for about 10 minutes. I just sat down and chilled for 10 minutes. But that's still a challenge. And that goes into what I said earlier. Sometimes you might have that challenge where you might have to physically fight, But then that's a challenge too. Even that's a challenge. Sometimes you got to know when to swing and when not to swing. So that's a challenge. That was a challenge with that thing to like calm down. Because, It was a challenge to calm down. And like I said, this dude was about the same size as me. And he was on his home turf too. So, but even then, I was ready to go. And as an aside, apparently it turned on a lot of the women there. Oh Lord. But anyway, right? That was a challenge. Everything is a challenge. Sometimes you going, you know what? If you have a financial thing, that's a challenge. If you something happened, there's some emergency and, or you couldn't pay a bill or something, that can be a challenge dealing with bill collectors. I don't know. This is myriad. It's myriad. Like I said, a man, many men. And even though my stuff is generally for all men, this is especially for black men. Tons of microaggressions every day, every single moment you out. That's tough. But you know what? Then this getting back to all men, period. You still got to meet that challenge. Understand the very nature of a man is to have that warrior in him. The very nature of him is to have that warrior to confront stuff. We supposed to be the ones going outside. We are built a certain way and have a mindset for a reason. The reason why we are more logical than emotional is we got to meet those challenges. We're the tough ones. We're the tough ones. We supposed to deal with any problems, and not just for ourselves. If you have a family, or even if you don't have family, you got kids, you got to look at that stuff. Now, I've said that before with my sons. I'm a cool person. I'm like, but if you get my sons involved, I'm like, all right, we're going to war. And even that, dealing with that in such a way as it doesn't cause some bigger repercussions. But that's a challenge. That's a challenge how to deal with every situation. Because nothing's easy. Nothing's easy. Because there's one way you want to deal with it, but, the laws say something else. It's like, I can't deal with it that way. You can't deal with it. But that's a challenge, how you deal with that. And the thing is, that's just the nature of man. If you're dealing with a woman, some shit come up. I don't care where you go on the planet. Woman looking at you like, what you gonna do about it? She don't say anything. You should do it. I always talk about men, when you walk with women on the street, you should be to the outside regardless. If you sleeping with a woman in the bed, you always closest to the door. If you living with her, you hear that noise, you up. She don't even have to say anything. You already up. That's one of those things, because the woman is the inner part. She's the inner part. If you look at an atom, you got that little dot in the middle, but then you got that other dot that's orbiting that thing. Now, it's not, the orbiting is more the protection thing, and then the nature of man is to go out anyway, even let's go beyond women. The nature of man is to go explore. We ain't supposed to be homebodies. We supposed to go out. We got to explore. We got to know our world. Shoot. At a natural thing, a man wants to expand his boundary, his territory. So you got to go out and do that. And there's always going to be a challenge. Let me touch on that whole boundary thing. If you're trying to expand, create an empire or a boundary or something, there's always going to be some pushback from somebody. And so that's part of the challenge too. You push through that. You figure out the effective way of doing it and you push through that. And you meet that challenge, you never really get to a place of peace, because there's always going to be something, always. Especially the more masculine you are, that's the more somebody gonna come for you. The more masculine you are, somebody's jealous, whatever, but you still gotta meet that challenge. However way you gotta figure, okay, this situation, how do I effectively deal with it? That's part of the reason why men are more logical. We supposed to think our way out of shit. And I know some women might, people be having some conflict with women, but even that's a challenge. In fact, when men get challenged by women, that's natural. That's natural. And the reason why women challenge, they just want to make sure you are who you say you are. But even then, you meet that challenge. It's just constantly there. That's just the nature of man. So anyway, that's all I got for today. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.